Hello students, myself Pratik Kadam, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, KK Bagh Institute of Engineering, Education and Research. So, a very warm welcome to you all to my lecture series on subject Information and Cybersecurity. And our today's topic is digital signatures. So, let us see what exactly is digital signatures. So, our first question is why digital signatures? So please don't get confused with our normal signatures with your digital signatures. Though they are related, like you can correlate them. For example, your signature is your unique identity. Similarly, digital signature acts as a unique identity while your transactions on network. So let us first see what are the problems with earlier approaches. So if you remember in our last lecture, we had seen what is symmetric key, what is asymmetric key, and how asymmetric key solve problems faced in symmetric key. So we'll quickly revise what is asymmetric key and understand and see what problems it has. So if you see, so there are two users, Tom and Mary. Tom wants to send a message to Mary. So we are using a public key encryption algorithm here. So what Mary does is she generates a key pair. One is private key and one is public key. Private key is kept private with her and she shares public key with everyone. So Tom uses her public key and encrypts the data which he wants to send using Mary's public key. The encrypted message is received by Mary, which she decrypts using her private key, which is only known to her, and then she reads the message. So in this way, securely Tom sends a message to Mary which no one can see. But let us see what are the problems with this approach. So the first and most important problem is, as Mary's public key is available to all, what if Harry uses Mary's public key and sends a message to her pretending as in Tom? Because Mary does not have any mechanism to check who exactly sends her a message. So whatever is there in an original data, only on that basis she can conclude who sent her message, but there is no direct proof to understand who actually sent her the message. So for the first problem is your authentication. The second and the most important problem is, what if some hacker or any other person intercepts between the network, and when the message was sent by Tom to Mary, that message is being intercepted by hacker and is modified. So Mary won't receive the actual message but the modified message, which might create a problem. So this is the second problem, that is modification of message, which is also known as an integrity. And third and the most important problem. So let us assume that genuinely Tom sends a message to Mary, but after receiving a reply from Mary, he understands that the Mary is upset with that message. So what he does is Tom says that it was not me who had sent you a message, because he don't want to be in trouble. So he just says that that message was not sent by me. So this is one of the major concern, that Mary is not aware or Mary cannot actually say who sends her the message. So this is nothing but a non-repudiation. So the issues with the existing system are, first is authentication. There is no mechanism to identify who actually sends the message. Second is integrity. There is no checking whether the message was modified in between or not. Non-repudiation is like, suppose I send some message to my friend. Maybe it is a verbal message, but due to that message my friend gets into a trouble. So after he gets into trouble, I say that it was not me who told you the message, because as it was a verbal communication, there is no proof that the message was said by me only. So this is nothing but a non-repudiation. So what should I do? So the solution to all these issues is your digital signature. So now let us understand what is digital signature. So again we have two users, that is Bob and Alice. As we are using public key infrastructure, both of them are having their own public key and private key. Private key is kept secret with them and public key is made available to all users across the world. So Bob now wants to send a message to Alice. So what he does is, first he creates a hash of his data. So I hope you know what is hashing. So hashing is a concept wherein your message is converted into a hash format. And the main property of hashing is whether your message is of 100 KB or 1000 KB, your hash size is fixed. And the second important property is even if of your 100 KB, 99 KB message is same, but 1 KB message is different, but the hash which is generated is totally different. So you can quickly identify any modification done in a message. So now a hash is generated by Bob of his data. So now what he does is he encrypts that hash with his own private key. So now you can see here he's not encrypting using his public key, but he's encrypting that hash using his private key because his private key is known to himself only. So now he attaches that encrypted hash to his original data. This is nothing but your digitally signed message, and he sends it to Alice. So across a network, Alice receives a digitally signed message. So now the message which she received is a data and a encrypted hash. So what Alice does is she separates out the two parts, hash and data. Now she applies decryption using Bob's public key on that hash, and a new hash is generated. And similarly she applies a hashing algorithm which was used by Bob on that data. So now I have two hash, one is a decrypted hash and one is newly generated hash. So if these both hash are same, we are assured that the message is not modified in between. So in this way we take care of integrity. The second concern was authentication. Now that the message is encrypted by Bob's private key, and if it is decrypted by his public key, we are assured that the message was sent by Bob only. So in this way we achieve authentication and non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is like if Bob denies that it was not sent by him, we can simply say that if it is not sent by you, then how could it get decrypted using your public key? The reason is it was encrypted using your private key. That is the reason why it was decrypted using Bob's public key. So in this way we achieve non-repudiation. So this is how your digital signature takes care of your integrity, authentication and non-repudiation. I hope you have understood the overall structure and working of digital signature. So many of you might be considered, what about the data? The data is not encrypted. So what if anyone sees that? So if you want to achieve confidentiality, so as per your asymmetric key algorithm, you can encrypt the data that, so for example, in this case, so Bob will encrypt the data using Alice's public key, so which can only be decrypted using Alice's private key. So by applying this, we can also achieve confidentiality. So this was just a high level overview of digital signature. I hope you have understood this. So if you have any queries, you can comment it in the comment box. I'll be very happy to solve them. I am very thankful to these resources from where I had used the animation part. And finally, thank you all for your patience listening. Have a great day.